Hello, folks at home. We apologize for the slight delay, but we are underway here in Glenview at Glenbrook South. It's the first game of the season. The Titans got the ball. The Dukes on defense. This Dukes defense has been excellent, holding their opponents last year just to 28% conversion rate on third down. And here's second down pass that is caught and just short of the first down marker. I'm Connor Choi. Next to me is TJ Silkaitis. He'll be putting on the headset just in a moment. And it's the first game of the year. This team is coming off a state semifinal appearance. They look to add to the impressive playoff run they've had over the last, or regular seasons they've had over the last 2 years. York is ranked number 7 in the top 25 as there's a nice run and a good gain for another first down by the Titans. This is a very run-heavy team. It's another handoff. This time will get stopped short. This Titans team really run heavy. I talked to Coach Fitz, TJ, and he said that they were preparing a lot, doing a lot of work with the defensive linemen. He highlighted Jack Troutman and Joe Reef as guys to look out for as potential big contributors this game. And we've seen multiple runs so far from the Titans. Second and long. There's another handoff off the middle, but a flag is thrown. Dukes have multiple returning starters on defense. Cole Ostendorf, who led the team in almost every major category minus interceptions at linebacker, 11.5 sacks, 27 tackles for losses. He will anchor down a Dukes defense. Joe Reef, as previously mentioned, he is able to become the number 10 ranked recruit in the state of Illinois over the summer. Reef has offers from Louisville, Iowa, Purdue, Notre Dame, and Northwestern, the school his dad played his college ball at.
Matoa takes the snap, hands it off to the running back. He breaks free, and he's up to get through the 30-yard line right near the first down marker. They will mark him short, though, so they'll have a second down and 1 here inside Duke's territory. That run there by number 35, Patrick Hastings. 34, Nate Canning.
Canning, a 5'10 senior, weighs in at 185, just powering through this Duke's defensive line over his last few runs.
Another handoff and another run there. This one swallowed up at the line, though, going absolutely nowhere. Swarmed there by a bunch of the Duke players. Joe Reef getting in there along with Jack Troutman, like you were talking about earlier, Connor.
Yeah, 2 guys Coach Fitz really spoke highly about on the defensive side. Along with Joey Masieri, he did get some decent playing time last season, but this year he will be starting every game, and he's looking to build off of his impressive last season with some even better numbers.
Another snap here, a fake. They're going to throw it out to Rechwich. He gets all the way down to the 10-yard line That's a 20-yard gain there for Glenbrook South. Now in the red zone, the Dukes really got to stop them here. Keep them out of the end zone. 8:05 left to go in this first quarter.
Well, they'd been running the ball so much earlier in the drive. 3rd and 1, you just think it's going to just be a little punch up the gut, get the first down, but instead they fake the handoff, go for the little screen, running back screen, and it works out perfectly as they're able to get at the to the 12-yard line.
Matoa under center. Now gets it out to his wide receiver on a wide receiver run. That one also swallowed up once again, just for a gain of 1, so it's now 2nd down and 9. That run there was by number 3, Tyrone Cotton.
Dukes got fooled on the last little sneaky play, but not this time on the jet sweep. They were able to meet him right at the line of scrimmage and make sure he only got 2 yards there. And if they could force a field goal here, I think that would really change the momentum of how this drive has been going. It's just been all Glenbrook South so far. But if you can get a big red zone stop and force them to kick a field goal, that could kind of shift the balance a little bit, TJ.
Matoa fakes it again. That pass over the head, though, of his intended target, Nate Canning. That'll bring up now a 3rd down and 7 to go. Big 3rd down here for the Dukes. They can stop them and force a field goal, and a touchdown will get them the lead back, and they'll only need a field goal to tie it.
Have some good coverage, forced Matoa to go up with the ball, and he missed high. But you can't risk throwing it at the waist, as that could easily be picked off. It was almost double coverage. The safety kind of came over, and good coverage by the defensive back. And now that brings up 3rd and 7.
Matoa hands it off once again. Getting out to the outside. Tackled there by Eddie Sika. It looks like Evan Gaughan over there on the far side of the field. That's now going to bring up down a 4th and 3, and they're going to bring on the field goal unit to try and get the lead here early in this ball game.
Yeah, just an excellent job by the Dukes defense. They struggled keeping up with the run game early, but they're able to force a 3-and-out in the red zone, force them to kick a field goal, and that was just an excellent adjustment to keep this game in reach.
Pregnitz out to kick the field goal here on 4th and 3. This is just going to be a 16-yard kick, and he boots it through the uprights. Nothing right down the middle there. Glenbrook South takes the lead over the Dukes 3-0 with 6:05 left to go in the first.
Back to the action. The Titans set to kick off to the Dukes, and there's a lot of buzz going on around this offense. TJ, new quarterback, Sean Winton, but same running back room. Adam Fennell, a familiar face. He was the 3rd-string running back, and he averaged 5 yards a carry, so he was very effective in the limited rushes that he saw. Obviously, Jake Melian coming back, he assumed that running RB1 role after the LT game, after he had multiple touchdowns. And he really hasn't looked back since. The biggest thing for me, 0 fumbles in 138 rushes. He does an excellent job protecting the football, and that's a really good sign when he's going to be asked to rush the ball 20, 30 times a game.
Titans kick it back now. York returning. Not going to be able to go anywhere, though, as he just wrapped up right around the 20. Fights for a couple more. Number 15, Jack Birnbaum on the return there. Able to bring it out to the 23-yard line.
Birnbaum used on the sophomore team as the primary punt and kick returner, so he gets it to return the first kick in varsity. He's got some good speed, ran on the track team in relay races, and he really impressed as a wide receiver and as a kick returner. Gets wrapped up just after the 20-yard line, and now Sean Winton and the Dukes offense are going to trot out. Winton threw only 6 passes last season as a junior.
Winton takes the snap, instantly pressured, makes a man miss though. Barely misses his receiver, Trinanich, over on the left sideline. He just did a great job there getting out of the way of that rusher and just, stopping it from being a sack on first down.
Winton not really known for his legs. Like Matt Vezza was other teams' game plans with how can you stop him in the run as well as all these other running backs. Winton, more of a traditional gunslinger, but he shows off some great footwork there, avoiding the sack. And it was an incompletion, but it's better to have it 2nd and 10 than 2nd and 17.
Winton back in the shotgun. Takes this one, fakes it to Melling, gets it over to Chris Danko. Danko tripped up instantly. He's still going to get about a gain of 4, though. It looks to be about they're going to only give him 2 yards on that. It's going to be a 3rd down and 8 here.
Danko comes in as the wide receiver 2 this year after being the team's punt returner sometimes and wide receiver 3. Coach Fitz really likes what he's shown in practice as well. He told me that he thinks this kid's going to have a great year, and I'm all for it. Luke Maylander, the only returning starter in terms of wide receivers.
Winton looking to get rid of it. Gets it to Mailman over on the sideline. Makes a great catch there. They're going to call it a catch. That's going to move the chains here for the Dukes. Great pickup there on 3rd down by Sean Winton and Luke Maylander.
Yeah, Mailman does a great job catching the ball and keeping his feet, and a lot of times you'll see guys shift their weight forward too early, and that'll lead their feet to get out, but Maylander keeps great balance.
And Winton fakes it, takes it himself, runs a man over, gets about 6 yards there, now bringing up a 2nd down and 4. Just as you were about to say there earlier, Connor, how he's not really known for his legs, but he also is a much bigger body back there at quarterback than Vezza was, so he can definitely drop the shoulder and use that to his advantage. As he hands this one off to Melian, and he's stopped in the backfield, he's going to be brought down right back at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Going to bring up another difficult 3rd down here for the Dukes with 3rd down and 5. Clock now winding down to just 4:20 left to go in the first.
Yeah, 3rd and 4. It'll be interesting to see what the play call is here. We saw a lot of 3rd down runs last year, but Winton just provides this offense with a good, just different type of look than we're used to. So it'll be interesting to see how Coach Fitz adjusts the offensive attack in terms of airing the football out downfield.
Winton giving adjustments at the line. Takes the snap. Rushed again, another spin move. Barely avoids that one, just throws it up. That one's intercepted. Glenbrook South gets the ball back on a 3rd down. Winton just threw that one up there in no man land. And that was intercepted by number 10, Dennis Palopoulos, the senior linebacker. Made a great play on that ball thrown to no one, and he's going to get Glenbrook South the ball back with a 3-point lead. 3:43 left to go in this quarter.
Well, Sean got rushed almost immediately as soon as he got the ball, and that didn't really give him enough time to get through his progression, see who was down the field, and he spun out of the way. I'm surprised he didn't take a big sack right there. He was able to get the ball up, but he just threw it kind of in the middle of the field, and nothing but a sea of blue right there, and they were able to pick him off in this opening drive for the Dukes.
I think possibly he could have been looking for Maylander. Maylander, it looked like he just threw it over his head. He just didn't really have time to react and really see where he was. He just kind of saw him in the middle of the field, and he just threw it up to his number 1 receiver, hoping he would come down with it and make a great play. But that one was just way over Maylander's head. He had no chance for that one.
Yeah, and like the off-balance throws, it's just really hard to make accurate throws. I mean, even in a sport like baseball, if you see someone do like a jump throw with all their weight shifted back, there's very few people who can accurately make that throw, and it's kind of the same at the quarterback position in football.
Glenbrook South takes a timeout here. We'll take a quick break. You are watching opening night football here in Glenview on York Sports Network. Glenbrook South now coming out for their second drive of the game after the interception by Palopoulos. They're going to go right back to what they were doing great last drive, as they're going to come out with a run right at the gut, and they're going to gain 9 yards on that one. That one, number 30, Dom Reschwitz.
Having gone on the tackle, and he was kind of a standout for us last year when we were calling the sophomore games together, TJ. He was a standout linebacker for Coach Bible, and he's already showing an impact at the varsity level, making a couple tackles already.
Evan Gaughan, definitely the lead linebacker there for the sophomore team last year. He led the team in tackles, and he was really the vocal point of that defense. Another handoff, pounded right as soon as he got the ball. Great play there by Joe Reeve.
Wow, that was just incredible. He gets through the line almost immediately and just decks the running back, throws him to the ground. At 6'5", 230, it's a very difficult assignment for these O-linemen. And that's what we were talking about. The tackles for losses by Reef last year made a big impact. He had 7 of those.
Matoa once again under center, yet to go in the shotgun. Snaps, he's going to pitch this one out to his wide receiver. That ball is going to be right near the line to gain. Looks like, I think it's going to be a 4th down here, or a 3rd down, sorry. It doesn't look like they're giving it to him. They're going to, they are calling it 4th down.
That's going to be 4th and inches. That was really close.
Cotton just not able to get there, but 4th and inches. Glenbrook South has done a great job running the ball up the middle all game, but we did see last time when it was 3rd down and 1, they went with a fake and they had that huge pass play for about 25 yards. So really, we just got to see what their coach is cooking up there on the sideline.
The linebackers and the defensive backs have to be cognizant of a potential pass, but you don't want to be too passive in the secondary and drop everyone back.
And there's another run, and it looks like he got stopped at the line, and they're going to say it's turnover on downs. York makes a great play there at the line of scrimmage, not letting them get anything there.
Now Glenbrook South isn't too convinced. Oh, they called it.
They're giving him a first down.
It.
From our angle up here, it looked like he was well short, maybe even lost yardage on that play, but they're going to give it to him. The clock's going to start running again.
I mean, every single Duke defender was off the field at that point, and it looked like the ref had put the ball down, but then that wasn't their official spot. They had just kind of placed it down. But to us, TJ, I mean, I saw a turnover on downs, but it was just so close. Such a difficult call to make in these 4th and inches situations.
Especially without the replay review like we get in the NFL. The call is what it is on the field, and you can't challenge it. Even if he was short, there's nothing you can do about it. The refs made up their mind. That's just how it is. Quarterback keeper here. He's going to get maybe a yard there. Ossendorf and Reef making a great play on the ball. Looks to also be number 36, Evan Gaughan once again.
And this linebacker core has just been so good along with the defensive linemen. They've just looked incredible in practice so far. And they're showing flashes early in this game, nearly getting another defensive stop after a great stand in the red zone. Now it's 2nd and long. They need to keep this up and get Sean Winton the ball back as quickly as possible. The first quarter comes to a close.
Matoa to receive the snap. Hands off again to Cotton. Cotton goes to the outside, now wrapped up by Ossendorf and Belize on the near side of the field. Great job there by Belize to make the open field tackle, as that's going to end this first quarter as it winds down to the last 5 seconds. Glenbrook South will have to come back out and convert a tough 3rd down and 9 to move the chains. And they're out of field goal range, even if it comes up to a 4th and 1, 4th and 2, so they'll have to punt it back. So this is a huge 3rd down for the Dukes to possibly get back in this game.
And you don't want to give up a lot of those 9 yards, because then they could really pin you deep in the end zone if they get close. If they get closer, the closer they get. So if you could keep it 9 yards back from the first down marker, I mean, that would be ideal.
As we get a stoppage in play with that end of the first quarter, we're going to take a quick break. You've been watching York Sports Network.
Start of the second quarter here. Field's been flipped. Glenbrook South going the other way. That's how they do it.
First time in shotgun, Matoa gets it. Gonna throw a screen pass, lit up once again. Cole Ossendorf right there. He sniffed that out from the get-go. Also, Evan Gaughan once again. Evan Gaughan has been all over the defensive side of the ball so far. It doesn't look like they're bringing out the punt team. Nope, here they come now. They're going to do their best to pin the Dukes back in their own territory. Make them really, really fight to get back in this game, tie it up, get the lead.
Fourth and 10.
Out to punt. Danko, the returner. Danko's just going to let it fly straight into the end zone there. Not even a second thought went through Danko's mind, as that was way over his head, and he was probably sitting around the 3-yard line. So Sean Winton's going to come back out for his second drive. Hopefully it'll end better than the first time.
We saw him get flustered in the pocket and throw a pick last possession. But from what I've seen in practice and from what I've heard from people on the team, he's generally just a calm quarterback in the pocket, has great pocket presence, and being more of a pure pocket passer and a gunslinger, kind of what we see with guys like Aiden O'Connell on the Raiders from Purdue.
Winton hands it off to Melian. Melian up the right side. He fights his way there just for about 3 yards there.
And TJ, like I was saying, he really just stays calm, cool, and collected. And last drive was one of, I think, the very few times you're going to see Winton that flustered in the pocket, because I've heard nothing but great things about him and his presence at quarterback.
Winton hands it off for Melian again. Melian once again getting about 3 or 4. He makes this a much more manageable third down now for Winton.
And one thing Melian does so well that I just love is he might face contact with a bunch of the defensive linemen a yard or two after the line of scrimmage, but he's always able to just drag it along and get an extra few yards, and that's just so valuable, especially that could have been a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. Now it's 3rd and 3.
Winton just going to go to a simple screen pass, gets to the Maylander, gets an extra block. Maylander's going up the sideline now. He's now inside the other territory. He gets down to the 27-yard line. What a play there by Luke Maylander to break one tackle, and he turns it to a flip. He flips the entire field right there. Now inside the 25-yard line. That is exactly what this Dukes team needed, especially for Sean Winton's confidence.
That's incredible. Just nice, quick little wide receiver screen pass, just hoping to get the first down, but he gets much more. He's completely flips the field. Maylander just turns on the Jets for a huge gain.
This one now to Danko for a screen pass. This time they're ready, and that's going to get stuffed probably for a loss of 1 or 2. Williams right there to make the play, senior defensive back.
Danko just immediate, as soon as he catches that ball, immediately met with 2 Glenbrook South Titans behind the line of scrimmage. That goes for a loss of 2 yards. Now it's 2nd and 12.
Winton takes the snap this time, throwing it up to Danko. Danko wide open. Tosa's man for the first touchdown of the season. Danko just broke right away from his defender. He had stood no chance there. He absolutely toasted at him. The sophomore defensive back, big task there to guard a speedster like Danko.
Yeah, just a great job by Chris. That is his first touchdown in 2 seasons. Didn't have one in varsity. He had some explosive plays, but he picks up what I believe to be his first career varsity touchdown, TJ. And a great job on that. Like you said, just completely cooked the cornerback that was guarding him. He stood no chance.
Glod's now to take out. Glod's now to take his first extra points. That one straight through the uprights, no doubt about it. Dukes now leads 7-3 in the second quarter. Glenbrook South's going to have to look and retaliate after that one. 9:17 left to go in this first half. Now back off the touchdown catch from Danko. Glass to kick off here. Once again, 7-3, the Dukes lead the Titans. Glass to kick it away. He's kicking this one straight to Cotton. Cotton bobbles it a little bit, receives at the 5. He's going upfield, gets around the 20, and absolutely tackled by a swarm of Dukes right there. Number 44 leading the pack right there, Nick Delanus. Titans are going to start now at the 22-yard line. Matoa now back out there to lead this offensive drive with 9 minutes left to go in the first half. As a running back breaks away right there, he's able to pick up about 5 yards after a few broken tackles. Riekowitz has looked really good here tonight. He's been their lead rusher and lead receiver so far. They're just giving him the ball at any chance they can.
I mean, last season they went 10-1, TJ, and a huge part of that was the run game. They were able to make it to the quarterfinals of state, where they ultimately got destroyed by Glenbard West, but they had such a great run and such a great season. And the run game was a huge part of that success, and it's looked good at points so far during this game.
Matoa gonna pass this one. This one's tipped in the air. Juggled a little bit there by both number 25. Looked to be a mixture there of number 25, Eddie Sika, and number 10, Charles Freed. Both just balled up in the air there. Not able to come down with it. But just a dangerous pass there from Matoa. Threw it to almost pretty much triple coverage.
He hasn't really thrown a lot of passes tonight. It's almost every play has been run.
Another pass there. Belize gets beat on the inside. Able to wrap him up, though, but not before Joshua Sherman can pick up the first down for the Titans and move the chains. That's going to put them now at the 42-yard line.
It's a great conversion on third down. Just quick little slant route and nice hard, tight spiral in the little window and able to come down with it for the first down.
Matoa also looked a lot more comfortable in the pocket right there. He was running out to his right when he made that dangerous pass before, but when he set his feet and he was in the pocket, he looked a lot more comfortable throwing that football. Matoa to hand it off now. He's breaking free and he's gone. No one is anywhere near him, and Nate Canning is taking it 58 yards for a Titans touchdown. That gets the Titans back the lead here. 9-7, 7:40, not even a 2-minute drive there, and the Titans regain the lead.
I mean, he just instantly breaks through the initial line of defense, gets through the linebackers, and no one was near him when he made that first acceleration. Just really turned on the Jets, able to give his team the lead back.
Regnitz now coming out for the extra point to give the Titans a 3-point lead. He made the first one no problem, and he makes the second one no problem as well.
TJ, they're going to
Pregnitz to kick this football away. Back to the Dukes. Booms that one. That one's going to go out of the back of the end zone. Danka once again going to let that go back. Another touchback, so the Dukes are going to start right there out at the 25-yard line. Sorry, 20-yard line. And Winter's going to have to come back in this game down once again and lead this team to another big drive. He had a little help last time from Luke Maylander, who had that huge explosive play for about 60 yards. We'll see if that happens again or if he's going to have to really grind out this drive himself with the run game and Melian.
Joe Reef in at offensive line now.
Winton takes it, hands it off to Melian. Melian just able to grab about 2 yards as he's wrapped up there by number 54, Patrick Benedict.
Benedict stands at 6'6", 240. Just so much bigger than Melian. So as soon as he wrapped him up, it was almost inevitable that Melian come down with him. And wow, TJ, that is just a big dude.
Melian spins away from one defender there, and he jumps and leaps forward for about a gain of 5, bringing up a 3rd and short here. Melian's done a great job of just getting those short yardage gains that the Dukes have needed so far on those second downs. We saw last time he did that which led to the Maylander 60-yard reception. We'll see what Coach Fitz is looking to do here on 3rd down, whether he goes back to the ground like 1st and 2nd or he airs it out. He's going four out right now with Kikos, Trinanich, Danko, and Maylander. Winton takes it, gets it back to Maylander on another screen. Maylander breaks free again, this time getting about 15 on the wide receiver screen. Maylander is just one fast dude, isn't he, Connor?
I mean, yeah, that's the second time in a row this play has worked to Maylander. He just accelerates almost immediately, and he's getting some good blocks in the beginning, so he has field to accelerate on. And he picks up the 1st down and much more. And this field position just got a lot better for Sean Winton.
Winton throws this one over to Danko. Danko beats one man. He's accelerating past the 35, 50, 45, and gets taken down at the 40, moving the chains again. That's 2 plays in a row. Winton and the Dukes are starting to put something together.
And the wide receiver screen didn't work the first time for Danko, but it worked the second time. He had a nice little cut from the Glenbrook south sideline more towards the middle of the field, and he was able to evade a tackle and get a couple of extra yards after getting past that 1st down marker.
Winton's rolling out to his right. He's really pressured there. They're looking for a flag as Trinanich was thrown to the ground. That pass was a little behind him, though. That was number 9, Jake Rookert, in the backfield, disturbing Sean Winton on that one as he was trying to get it to Trinanich, the tight end.
I don't think Winton was on the same page with him, because afterwards they went up to him, just kind of had that confused look. So maybe miscommunication. He ran one route. Winton thought he was running another, which led to the low throw and bounce in.
Winton hands this one off to Melian. Melian runs over a guy. 3rd down and 4. This is their 2nd 3rd down here on this drive. Picked up the first one with the Maylander screen pass. Probably going to go back to the air on this one, I would assume.
Yeah, 3rd and medium. You need to pick up the 1st down. If you don't get it, you're going to be forced to punt.
Winton throws this one deep for Maylander. Maylander makes a great sideline catch. He definitely got that right foot in. Referees are going to give it to him as well. That's going to be a catch and a huge gain there for the Dukes on another tough 3rd down. That's going to gain 20 and put the Dukes in the red zone.
Perfect. Great throw by Sean Winton there. Hits Maylander in stride. Perfect ball placement. Maylander makes the catch. Runs out of bounds. Gives his team a 1st down. They're on the 16-yard line, and they're now in the red zone.
Winton makes sure Melian's in the right spot, and they hand it off to him once again. The tight ends are prepared for it. He just won't go down, though. He did all that work for just about a yard.
And that just makes him so hard to take down that about almost the entire defensive line used to finally bring him down. Melian averaged nearly 5 yards a carry, actually just a little bit over 5 yards a carry last season. where he was the team's lead rusher.
Winton looking to put it in the corner there. That's just out of the reach, but they're going to call a flag there. That's going to be pass interference. That pass was intended for, it looks like, Finton Helm, the junior tight end. That one looked to be just out of the back of the end zone. No one had a chance to play on that ball. Refs thought otherwise and called a flag. But there also is a flag near the line of scrimmage. So it appears we might have two flags. They're going to call holding on the offense, but pass interference on the defense. So those are going to offset here, and we're going to get a replay down.
I think what induced the pass interference call was just two guys kind of, they pushed Finton a little bit out of the end zone, and then they kind of fell on him once the ball was thrown. And I think if they were able to get out of the way, I'm not sure a flag would have been thrown, and that would have just been a holding, and it would be a second.
Because I also thought it was just an uncatchable ball, and when that ball is uncatchable or deemed uncatchable, the flag there just can't be thrown. But Winton is going right back to it. Danko, second touchdown of the night. Winton's got 2 passing touchdowns in his debut, bouncing back after the pick on the first drive. And this Duke's passing game has looked electric so far here in the first half.
Found Danko the first time, finds him the second time. Excellent route, once again beats the corner almost immediately and hauls it in for his second touchdown of the day. Have yourself a game, Chris Danko. 4:03 left to go in the first half. And ever since that interception, Sean Winton has just looked like a completely different quarterback, TJ. Throwing his deep balls, hitting his receivers in stride and in the red zone. Doing an excellent job finding open guys downfield. Glott's going to trill the extra point.
This looks a lot more comfortable as well. That first drive, he was dancing a little bit back there in the pocket, not really sure what to do. As we saw that pass just in the middle of nowhere when there's no guys around him.
Yeah.
But these last 2 drives, he's really just stood in there. He hasn't taken any hits yet. We saw that one rollout, but he did a good job at actually throwing it to his receiver this time and just not in no man's land.
Yeah, and you got to give credit where credit's due. The offensive line also has looked really good, much improved. They're plugging the holes better. They're keeping Titans out from inside, getting past the line into the quarterback and Jake Mellion. So just a great job done by the offensive line as well. Is it?
Glodz boots this one away off to the right side, just really short. Fair catch going to be called at the 30-yard line there by Joshua Sherman. Sherman, the one that got the touchdown last drive, which is going to bring out Alan Matoa once again to lead this offense after a successful touchdown drive, but this time he's only got 4 minutes and 3 seconds to work with.
Matoa not working extremely fast, more of a handed off guy, and then pass on third down. Kind of reminds me a lot of Cade McNamara, the Iowa quarterback, back when he was on the Michigan Wolverines. Really letting plays develop when he's passing and then trusting the run game. But I'm not sure if this drive, if he's able to extend this drive towards the final 2 minutes, I'm not sure you have time to just take things slow. You might really be forced to throw some deep balls, and he'll really have to test his arm strength.
And Matoa comes out slinging it on the first one. He's going deep on the wheel route. That one is going to be a flag. They're going to call a pass interference there on the Dukes. They're calling that one on number 34, Jimmy Connors. There was some contact there on the pass intended for Jack Valentine's. But there's going to be a holding, it looks like, so they're going to offset again, just like we just saw in the last drive with York and Glenbrook South on the opposite sides of the spectrums. So now it's going to be first down and 10 once again, but this time with 3:58 on the clock.
And back to like the last pass interference call that we saw go on the Titans. I'm not entirely sure that ball was catchable. Yes, Jim gave the intended receiver a little bit of a push, but not sure if that would have made the difference. If anything, he pushed them a little bit closer to the ball. I think Matoa just overthrew it.
And he just kind of caught a break there with the holding penalty. Matoa going for it again, this time dragged down by Joe Reef, and he was also being held by Andrew Bricker by the ankle, not letting him go anywhere. Great double team right there. That's going to bring down a second down and 15 to go now. That just made this drive a lot harder here for the Titans.
I mean, that's the second time we've seen him instantly get past the line of scrimmage and to the Titan. This time Matoa, last time it was the running back. And Matoa had no time to react to throw it away. He just had to take the sack. Another great play by Joe Reef.
Matoa back now under center. They're going to hand this one off again. Going nowhere is Canning. Third down and 14 to go now for the Titans. Matoa most certainly going to have to pass this one.
Some overthrow the first deep ball on first down. Will he be able to hit his receiver in stride in this play?
And we'll really get to see this Duke secondary be shown off here. Matoa takes it. Those a post broken up there by Belize. Great play there, disrupting the catch opportunity for Joshua Sherman. Just a great break on the ball there from Belize.
Excellent pass breakup, TJ, and you almost called it. You said we're about to see an excellent play here from the Duke secondary, and that we got. Just some of those plays are just so hard to make, especially when you're behind the receiver. A lot of times they can catch it. Not sure if that would have been a first down, but it definitely would have been close, and if he catches it, there's always the chance that he breaks away.
And especially with that pass breakup, that's going to stop the clock with 2:26, and the Dukes still have all three of their timeouts here as the Titans go to punt. They're punting this one to Danko. That goes all the way inside the 30. Danko's going to pick it up, look to turn upfield, but he's just going to grab a couple extra yards to get out at the 33-yard line. And now this is what you train for all offseason, these 2-minute drills. And this is going to be the first one we're going to see Sean Winton get to run with this offense as a York Duke varsity starter. So when we have these opportunities later in the season against conference opponents, we'll get a little bit of a tell right here with how Fitz and Winton are going to play it and whether or not they're on the same page and Winton's on the same page with his receivers. Winton takes it. They're going to hand the ball off. First play to Melian. Melian going to be stopped inbounds just for a gain of 1. So the clock will continue to run here as it's now under 2 minutes left to go in the first half. Personally, I think it was a bit of an odd call there to run the ball with only 2 minutes left. I would have assumed they would have wanted to add some extra points on here, make it a little bit harder for Glenbrook South to come back in the second half, and he's going to throw this one here. Winton going to throw a deep post to Maylander, just out of the reach. Just a little bit led him too far up the field. Mailman had to change his route there a little bit and go up the hashes instead of across the field, and that's just going to barely be out of the reach of his hands, and that's going to bring up a third down and long now.
There was a flag after the, or during the play. It's going to send them back.
I think that will be a holding there, and Glenbrook did accept it, so that's going to make it second down again, but now a second down and 18 to go instead of having that 3rd and 8.
With 5 seconds shaved off the clock, that's always an important factor in the final few minutes of a half.
And especially if the Dukes can't get anything here on these next 2 downs, it's going to put Glenbrook South in a position where they might be able to get some points, as they're not, the Dukes aren't going to be able to pin them back very far. They come out 5 wide here. Winton instantly pressured. He's just going to have to throw that one away, as number 17, Daniel Devine, makes a great play there, and they're going to call a flag.
Are they going to say
intentional grounding maybe, or roughing the passer?
Intentional grounding.
That's going to push them back even farther now. So with that intentional grounding call, that's going to put them in an even worse position they were already in. And those 2 penalties there are going to really cost the Dukes a chance at getting points, and maybe even letting Glenbrook South retake the lead right before halftime.
From the 36 to the 9-yard line.
And you also get a loss of down there on those intentional grounding, so it will be a 3rd down and 35. We'll see if maybe they just run it to run some clock, or if they're just going to air it out. They do have 4 wide receivers out on the field. They're going for a hard count there. Couldn't get anyone to jump. Adjustments now being given to the offensive lineman by Winton. Winton takes it. Pressure in the pocket once again. Gets out of there. Throws it. Gets it to Maylander. Great pass there from Winton across the body. That's now a 4th down and 5 from a 3rd and 35 on a 30-yard gain there from the connection we've seen all night long with Winton and Maylander.
You kind of surprised me on that one, TJ. I mean, on the run across the body, fires a dart to Maylander. They're going to go for it on 4th down, looking to get someone to flinch.
We'll see if we'll actually go through with this. We're going to get a timeout here by York, maybe to discuss it or just to get that punting team out there. It looks like some of the punting team's getting ready to go out. Because that's a hard decision to make there. I mean, it's 4th and 5, and you just came off a huge play. But if you don't get it, you're giving Glenbrook South the ball at the 40-yard, at the Duke's own 40-yard line with a minute 26.
That's some excellent field position.
Especially with 2 timeouts left.
2 timeouts left to end the half. I think you definitely want to keep the lead going into halftime. They're up 14-10 right now. And you don't want to I don't think you want to give them any reason where they could take the lead or cut the lead anymore, because a field goal would just make it just a 1-point game. Touchdown obviously giving them the lead. They're going to send out the punt team. Not a big surprise here.
First time we're seeing this from the Dukes this year. Brennan Kennedy, the new punter, taking Mason Belfance's spot.
Belfance playing baseball at the University College of Penn Technology.
Kennedy absolutely boots this one. That's going to hit the 25, and Fennell's going to be able to stop it from rolling any farther up the field. He's going to touch that right at the 30-yard line. So 70 yards to go for Glenbrook South. Connor, do you think they test it here and try to get those points and get the lead going into halftime, or do you think they just, take a knee on this one and just go and, being happy only down 1 possession?
I mean, you're down. All right, you got a minute 18 left, and you have 2 timeouts. I think in the beginning you try to at least get it into field goal range. I'm not saying you're going to get into the end zone, but if you could at least get 3 points to end the half, that would be very good as well. Obviously, the touchdown is what they're looking for, but I don't think you back down here at all. I think at the very least you try and score 3.
we're about to see right here. Matoa taking the snap. They're going to hand it off again. This time wrapped up by Joey Massieri after a 3-yard gain. We've really seen Rechwitz be the main back here tonight. I mean, he's a big kid, standing at 6'1", 205. That's a lot of weight there for a running back, but he hasn't looked slow either tonight. He's looked quite quick and agile. Matoa hands it off to Cotton. Cotton looking for any kind of room. He's swallowed up by about 5 Dukes right there. Might have got to gain a 1 right there with the forward progress. But the offensive line just crumbled there on that one. Timeout called by the Dukes here. Bringing up a 3rd down. 39 seconds left to go. Could we see Sean Winton come back out and try and sling one deep right before halftime? That's what I'm thinking, at least, with the Dukes calling a timeout here. I mean,
that's got to be on the Titans' mind right now. And their main goal is convert on this third and 5, pick up the 1st down, and see where it goes. But the last thing you want to do is have 4th down and having to punt the ball away.
Especially with having such a bunch of deep threats on the offensive side for the Dukes, with Winton slinging the ball downfield to Maylander and Kikos and Danko. All 3 of those guys are extremely fast, and at any time one of them could win a one-on-one coverage depending on who it is, and they could just break free for a wide open big gain. We've seen it before tonight. We saw Maylander just absolutely burn a guy. Winton just overthrew him a little bit. We've seen Danko break away on a couple corner routes. Like that last one he caught for a touchdown. He had about 10 yards of separation from anyone else on the Glenbrook South defensive side. So they're just going to look to get this 1st down here, not even have to worry about something like that happening to them. Matoa fakes it. He's in the backfield, and he gets swallowed up by Cole Ostendorf. And Evan gone again. Evan Gaughan's been all over the defensive side of the ball here in the 1st half. That's going to bring up a 4th down now. Or no, they're going to call a defensive holding on the Dukes. That's going to make this a much more manageable 3rd down here, depending on where their marker is. Or sorry.
It's an automatic 1st down.
My bad there.
That's a huge blow right there with the hold. I mean, you were able to get to a Massieri and Gaughan. They've gotten through the line of scrimmage multiple times so far in this 1st half.
They're going to go back to the run there. That's going to be 7 yards for Canning. There will be a timeout called by Glenbrook South now that they're on the other side of the 50. 24 seconds left to go in the 1st half. Glenbrook South's going to need an explosive play to get themselves into field goal range.
I think now you need to take a deep shot. Like you said, you have to get in the field goal range, and it's going to take a lot to do that. So 24 seconds left. Take a deep shot or 2. Try and get in the field goal range. You still have a timeout left.
And also try and get out of bounds if possible to save that last timeout, because really you want to keep that last timeout for when you want to go out and kick the field goal. You're not going to want to have to do and then rush up to the line and hopefully get a spike off right before halftime.
That's going to be close to impossible, and that's just – they're going to have to get out of bounds or make the catch, hurry it up, and spike the ball, because the timeout will almost certainly be used to kick the field goal.
Matoa with Cotton in motion. Hands this one off again to Canning. Canning once again going nowhere on back-to-back plays, wrapped up there by Bricker. Bringing up a 3rd down and 5 with 18.7 seconds left. Glenbrook South using that last timeout, which we were just talking about. So this is really just a go for the sidelines on a big play here, or just go for it all here on 3rd, because on 4th down you're just punting it and going into the locker room.
I know, and I thought that run in that previous play, I just felt like that was kind of a waste of a play. If you truly were trying to get to the end zone or into field goal range, I just don't see how going with a halfback draw up the middle is just going to do you any good. Personally, I really don't think it does. And now you have no timeouts, 18.7 seconds left.
We did see the halfback dive work earlier when they gave it to Canning. Canning ran for that explosive 58-yard touchdown run. So maybe they were just hoping that he would be able to go out there and do it again, but this Duke's run defense really hasn't let up anything besides that one big play, nothing past 10 yards. So now with the 3rd down and 5, Matoa snaps it. Play action, throwing it to his running back out of the backfield. Out of his range, though. Missing Valentinas. So that's now 4th down and 5 at the 50-yard line. I could only imagine that they're coming out to punt, and yes, they are.
Come out, punt, pin the Dukes deep in their own end zone. I think if you get them inside their own 10, I think they just take a knee. It's just not worth the risk of anything.
Unless it's botched or something. I totally agree with you, Connor.
They don't even have a returner down there.
Ruckert kicking it. They're going to let him boot that deep inside the 10-yard line, bouncing right around the 10 or 11. 7.4 seconds left in the first half. Dukes lead by 4. Sean Winton in the offense coming back out. This score will not change before halftime, we would like to think. So it looks like the Dukes will go in the halftime with a 4-point lead. Setting up in formation to kneel it, and that's what they are going to do. They're going to go in the halftime up for 14-10. Game's been dominated by the Dukes offense after that first drive. Winton 192, 2 touchdowns and an interception. 121 of those passing yards went to Luke Maylander, but both touchdowns went to Danko. Winton's done a great job getting the ball to his different receivers so far in the first half. Dukes will also receive the second half kickoff, so they will look to extend that lead starting in the second half. Connor, what do you think Glenbrook South needs to do to, 1, contain Sean Winton, and 2, really move the ball down the field, because we've only seen about one play that really exploded for anything?
I mean, containing Sean Winton, you can't let it goes to the receivers. You can't let the receivers break away. We've seen a couple of times where Danko toasted the corner both times in his 2 touchdown catches. Maylander in the one deep ball that Winton just overthrew, I mean, he was a good 10, like 5 yards of separation between him and the man that was guarding him. So this secondary is really going to have to do a better job, because if you let them get separation, we've seen Winton do a great job of hitting his receivers in stride. And if he keeps that up in the second half, he can put this game away very quickly. And as for the offense for Glenbrook South, if they're looking you're looking to get a quick stop, hopefully a 3-and-out to start the half, and then you want to get the ball and continue what has been working well for you, that run game. But I'd also like to see them mix in a little bit more aggressive play calling in this second half. I thought in some situations they were a little bit too passive, where I thought they could have gone passing. Instead, they just ran it instead. But if they do that, it'll be a great game, and we have a tight one right now, just a one-possession game.
Couldn't have said it any better myself there, Connor. And with this halftime show going on, we are going to go on break here. I've been TJ Silkaitis. Alongside me has been Connor Choi, and you've been watching Glenbrook South versus York varsity football opening kickoff night here on York Sports Network.
Well, folks, second half is about 20 seconds away. Duke set to receive the football to start the second half off. They're up 14-10 at Glenbrook South. The Titans were not able to score in their really last chance to put points on the board before the half ended. And now they have to start on defense. Sean Winton was excellent in the first half, passing for over 200 yards after a rough first drive where it ended with him throwing a pick. But after that, he really turned it up, hit multiple receivers in stride on his deep ball placement, which was excellent. And Chris Danko catching 2 touchdowns. Just 2 more than he caught last season. Kickoff just about to start. Connor Choi here with TJ Silkaitis. York set to receive. Jack Birnbaum and Chris Danko in the back, just behind the 20-yard line. Birnbaum got the opening kickoff in their first drive. Danko had been returning every other punt and kick ever since. They look to start the second half off with a score to extend their 4-point lead.
Prejnitz out to send this one off and start the second half. And he kicks this one away, sort of low. Danko able to pick it up, though, around the 12-yard line. Danko running it out. He gets up to the 40. Danko gets an extra block. He gets past the 50-yard line and brought down at the 44 on Glenbrook South's territory. Danko looks to be hobbling over there, though.
He runs off the field fine. I think it was a little issue with the cleat. And he's had himself an excellent day lining up at wide receiver. And now he has an excellent return on special teams, giving his team great field position to start the second half as Sean Winton comes back onto the field. 200 passing yards in the first half. 2 touchdowns.
Maylander now going off the sideline, and Josiah stepping in for him. Winton takes the snap, hands it off to Melian. Melian, Glenbrook South signaling they have the football, and Melian fumbles it. That's exactly what Glenbrook South needed to get back in this game, and the exact opposite thing you wanted to have for the Dukes. That's Mellion's first fumble as a varsity running back. And that's a big one, as now Glenbrook South has an opportunity to regain the lead here at the start of the second half.
That fumble couldn't have come at a worse time. You had great field position after Danko's return. And on first down, Melion gets the ball. And it was punched out by the Titans. And now they have some great starting field position at the 44-yard line.
Matoa hands it off once again to Weschnitz. He's just able to get 1 yard off of that one, though, so second down and 9.
This Duke's defense is going to be tested early in the second half now. Not what they were expecting. They were expecting to have the ball and hopefully go for a nice long possession, but they turn it over on the first play, and now they're rushed back on here looking to get the ball back for their offense.
Another run this time to Cannon. Not going anywhere. Dukes have done a great job stopping the run all night, besides one play. But besides that, they've looked almost perfect at stopping this Glenbrook South run game. But that's also why this team's been struggling so much on offense. This is a team that relied heavily on the run last year to carry them through the season. And when you go against a good rush defense, and it's really tough to move the football, especially with Matoa not having a very good passing game. They're going to do a reverse. Cotton has it. Connors trying to make a stop. Reef and Connors slowing down just enough there for Massieri to get in there to make a great tackle, now bring up a fourth down. Just as quickly as they got the ball, they'll be giving it right back to the Dukes, seemingly almost as that interception didn't happen.
And I liked the deception there, but it just wasn't enough. They went over, but the Dukes doing a good job not fully committing over to the right when the Titans initially went that way. And then when they cut back the other direction, they were able to adjust and make the tackle.
Punt away here. Danko is going to let that one bounce. He's going to pick it up at about the 18. He's going to spin back around. He's not going to be able to go anywhere, though, as he's going to stay right where he caught it at the 18-yard line. So Winton coming back on. Definitely going to be handing off the ball to Melion. We'll see how he handles this possession after fumbling on the first play of the second half. First time as a varsity running back, like we mentioned earlier. So that could definitely affect a running back mentally who doesn't normally cough up the football.
I mean, he's been so good at protecting the football. I mean, and fumbles, they're a part of a game. They're eventually going to happen to everyone. But that's just, I don't think you really expect it to happen to you, especially if you can go a full season without fumbling the ball with the workload Jake had throughout last season.
First and 10 from their own 18-yard line. Winton in the shotgun. Hands it right back off to Melion. Melion now comes out and gets a huge 12-yard gain for the Dukes now, putting him up to about the 30, 31-yard line. That's exactly what you want coming from Melion off the turnover.
Great rebound, just rushes it up the middle. Runs a couple guys over, breaks multiple tackles, picks up the first down and a little bit extra.
And the snap. Ball handed off right back to Melion again. Melion breaks away from one tackle. He's got the sideline. Barely gets tripped up at the 35-yard line. Great play there from Joshua Sherman to keep that from being a touchdown. But Melion flips the sides of the field and now puts the Dukes in a great position to increase their lead here early on in the second half.
Back-to-back rushes by Melion, and both of them were excellent, but the second one was even better than the first. Huge gain right there. And now this is some great field position for the Dukes, as he's really starting to heat up in the second half after fumbling the ball.
Danko's been Winton's favorite target here on this side of the field, but they're going to hand it off to Mellion instead. Mellion going to go for another 10 right around the marker. They're going to mark him up not even a yard short of the first down to gain. That's going to bring up a second down in inches. And I think Glenbrook South has been playing more towards the pass this half since Winton had such a great first half passing after that first drive.
Yeah. I mean, you see it split up more. There was the safety shading over, and there's going to be a flag on the play.
That's going to be an encroachment or offsides there on a defense. Daniel Devine jumping. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty, and with that, that's going to move the chains. That's going to be a first down and 10 from the now inside the red zone at the 17-yard line. Like I mentioned a couple seconds ago, Danko's been Winton's favorite target so far here in the red zone. We'll see if he goes back to him or if they keep pounding the rock with Jake Mellion after he's had 3 successful runs in a row.
Whistle's blown.
Looks like York's going to take its first timeout here in the second half. And with this short timeout break, we're going to take our break ourselves. 14-10 our score. The Dukes lead over the Titans. Dukes marching down the field now in the red zone. You've been watching York Sports Network.
Dukes down at the 18, 1st and 10, 7:31 left to go in the third quarter. They're in the red zone right now.
Out the timeout, Winton goes back to pass. He's going to throw up a fade. That one swatted away, but they're going to call a pass interference. Maylander knew it right away, and Tyrone Cotton is not happy about that one. He's been playing both sides of the ball all night. Cotton, they didn't agree with that at first, but now comes to realization and admits his mistake right there. That's going to put the Dukes on the goal line.
They've been really just been calling, I feel like these officials have called pass interference almost instantly. At the slightest bit of contact there, these fans are upset by the call, but at the same time, it's been consistent the entire game, especially in the red zone and deep balls. You've seen a lot, most of the, I think all of the pass interference flags actually have been called on deep shots or red zone plays.
Winton hands this one off to Mellion. Mellion runs up the middle, dragging 2 guys with him, and he gets into the end zone. Jake Mellion, rushing touchdown here, extends this Dukes lead to 10 at the moment. Great job there by Mellion, dragging 2 guys with him into the end zone.
That was excellent, and that goes back to the physicality of Mellion. He does an excellent job fighting through tackles, occasionally breaking multiple tackles in one rush there. With multiple guys latched onto him, he's able to fight and get into the end zone, put the Dukes up by 2 possessions.
Extra point good, now making that an 11-point lead. That's huge because field goal and a touchdown doesn't mean a tie ball game anymore. Glenbrook South would need a touchdown with the 2-point conversion and the field goal just to tie the game. That's a huge touchdown there for the Dukes, especially for Melian bouncing back instantly off that fumble. And while we wait for the kickoff, we're going to take a short break. You've been watching York Sports Network. Kicked off there, returned at the 20, up to the 30, and he's still going, brought down at the 33-yard line, that being number 25, Aiden Habibovic. Getting a return of about 10, setting Glenbrook South up at the 34-yard line. And this is a big possession here, as they got to put some points up on the scoreboard to bring this back within one possession.
Yeah, and I really think they need to start getting more aggressive in terms of the play calling, because in the beginning the run worked really well, but as the game progressed on and on, TJ, the Dukes adjusted.
This is another run here, 5 yards gained, right up against the sideline. Great play there made by Cole Ostendorf. Ostendorf, a huge name everyone knows from last year. He was a terrific linebacker as a junior, led the team in solo tackles last year, as well as winning a couple of Player of the Week nods.
Yeah, 11.5 sacks. That led the team by far. 27 tackle for losses. I don't think anyone was even close. Couple of forced fumbles. Led the team in solo tackles. The only thing he didn't lead in was interceptions, but he's a linebacker. If he led the team in interceptions, I would say send this man to the NFL already.
Flag thrown. That's going to be a false start on the offense. Bring them back 5 yards. Now getting a second down and 11. Just jumped a bit too early on that one.
Now second and long. I think this is definitely a spot where you pass. Doesn't have to be a deep shot, but at least maybe a quick slant route. I really want to see what Matoa can offer in the passing game. We haven't seen a lot, but what we have, and we haven't seen a lot of greatness from the passing game, but I don't think he's really gotten a shot. And with the running game becoming less and less effective as this game has moved on, I think you're going to have to rely on a bit more on the passing game, whether or not you want to.
They're going to hand this one off again to Cotton. Cotton going nowhere, being stuffed at the line by Tyler Hayes and Cole Ostendorf.
Hayes was totally ready for that jet sweep that the Titans have run multiple times throughout the course of this game. He pounced on Cotton almost immediately. And that's a great tackle by the junior.
They're down in 10 now. Well, certainly a passing down, and he's not going to even have enough time as Ostendorf gets back there alongside with Tyler Hayes and Joe Reef. Back-to-back plays with Hayes and Ostendorf on the ball.
Another sack. Half a sack for Joe Reef, half for Cole Ostendorf. Reef adds to that sack total. Ostendorf again with another big-time tackle, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 13 and send out the punt team.
Danko back once again to return the ball. We saw him have an explosive run out to the 40 to open up the half. Of course, that didn't matter much as the next play was a fumble. Snap's good. Punt's going right at Danko. Danko catches around the 30, gets up around the 40. He's going to cut inside and get taken down right around the 42-yard line by number 28, Ferrith Robles, the junior linebacker. And that's a great example of just getting anything you can. Anything helps. Because if you score a touchdown on this drive, it's almost impossible for Glenbrook South to come back. And those 10 extra yards could definitely mean something later on in this drive.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's impossible for them to come back. You got a 4th quarter to play. But that would make it very, very difficult. And if you could score here, get a stop, and then score again.
Winton throwing that out route to Luke Maylander. Absolutely smothered right there by Tyrone Cotton. Nothing was open there. Winton just threw it into coverage anyways, though. Lucky that one wasn't picked off and possibly even returned by Cotton, as all there was green grass in front of him. But luckily for the Dukes, that ball sailed out of bounds, barely out of the reach of Cotton.
Dukes get called for ineligible man downfield, so that's going to move him back 5 yards.
1st and 15 with that last penalty.
Sean will get a do-over on the last pass.
Winton now going to throw another screen to Maylander. Maylander breaks away for a 3rd time. He's running up the sideline. Gets tackled out of bounds right around the 40-yard line. That's a great positive play of 23 yards right after the penalty. That screen pass has looked phenomenal tonight, especially when they get the ball into Maylander's hands.
Yeah, Mailman has no touchdowns tonight, but it doesn't really seem to matter. He's got multiple explosive receptions that have pushed his team downfield.
Melian able to get a gain of 8 or 9 on that one. Bring up a 2nd and short here. York going up in the hurry up. Winton takes it, goes right back to Melian. This time he's smothered. Ball's falling out again. It looked like Chernich jumped on it. They're going to say Glenbrook South has it again. Melian went from fumble to touchdown to another fumble. And there's a York Duke player down on the field. I believe that is Luca Trinanich, the man who jumped or tried to jump on top of that loose football, and he is down. He was holding that right shoulder.
I mean, he tried getting on top of the football. It's just an absolute dog pile on top of him. You hope he's okay. And Melian's 2nd fumble of the game.
Trinanich able to get up and walk off the field, so that's always a good sign. But what's not a good sign is that last fumble, because now Glenbrook South has the football back once again.
I'm just surprised. I mean, this Glenbrook South team, their defense, I should say, has played really hard and physical the entire time, and maybe it's just something new that Melian isn't used to, but Melian has played plenty of excellent defenses last season.
Matoa out to pass, getting pressured again by Reef. Throws this one on the run. just out of the reach of Cotton. That's just about as much you can do there when you got a guy as big as Joe Reef running after you, trying to make a tough opposite sideline throw, throwing across his body. Cotton now sitting on the sideline, took off his helmet. He's being checked out. Hopefully he's okay. Back-to-back plays with injuries. And Cotton's been all over the field, both offensively and defensively. He's been playing defensive back and wide receiver.
Maybe a little bit of fatigue has something to do with it. I mean, playing both sides of the ball for the entirety of the game up until this point is not easy. And this Titans offense really has to get going.
Matoa hands it off. Canning's going to push forward to about the 40-yard line. That's going to be a gain about 5. Gone once again on the ball, making a tackle. Most likely a passing down here. 3rd and 5 to go.
TJ, this is going to be a huge play right here. Their defense gave them the opportunity to stay in the game, but they have to convert here.
And Matoa taking from the shotgun this time. Completes that slant route over the middle to Joshua Sherman. Second time we've seen that today.
Excellent play right there. They went empty backfield. Matoa zipped the ball over, found his man almost immediately on the slant route, and that TJ is when he's looked his best tonight. Slant routes, quick throw. He's got that nice quick release. He's only throwing it about 8 yards down the field, and that's when he's looked like his best in terms of passing plays. And I think we'll see, hopefully, if you're a Titans fan, you'll see more of that.
Pass once again, this time completed to Webney. Making a great catch there with the cornerback draped all over him, moving the chains. And going back to that last play on that slant route, it's really hard to stop a guy like Joshua Sherman, who's a 6'3", 175 receiver. He's just a big dude, and running a slant route, there's not many corners that are going to match up very well against a guy of his size.
And it's even harder. Like before, when on the pass deflection, he was behind once again. Now behind on this play, but it goes the other way.
A 3rd pass in a row. First time we've seen that tonight. They're going to call two. They're going to throw the flag out there. That one's going to be a pass interference on Belize. Ball was thrown downfield to Joshua Sherman once again. They're going to get Belize for holding on, which he did. So that's going to put Glenbrook South in a great spot here to put up points and bring this ball game back in within 1 possession.
I think Belize's argument was like, well, hey, he was pushing me too. It's just kind of back and forth. How can you just flag me? But now they're in the red zone on 1st down, and this has turned into a really nice drive. And they're going to have to capitalize on this. Scoring a touchdown would be ideal.
Enough to Canning. Canning got plenty of space, and he's going to rumble down inside the 5-yard line. 1st down and goal now. 1:42 left to go in the 3rd quarter, and the Titans are inching their way towards the goal line once again.
Good run, and I'm liking these plays a lot more. 1st and goal on the 5. They're doing a better job of balancing the run, as well as mixing in these slant route passes for Matoa, where he's really shown he's the best, TJ.
Another run to Canning. That one's sniffed out, though, by the defense, and that's going to be maybe a gain of 2. Not even. They're going to give him 1 on that one. 2nd and 4, winding down under 3 minutes left to go in the 3rd. Ostendorf once again on the ball right there. He's up to 11 tackles on the night, going along with 1 sack. And another run. Canning, Dukes aren't going to be able to stop him this time as Canning rushes his way into the end zone. 16-21. Glenbrook South is right back in this ball game, bringing it within possibly 4 or 3, depending on what Glenbrook South's coach wants to do here. It looks like they're just going to bring out the kicking unit and take their extra point. 39 seconds left to go in the third. Winton in the offense might get 1 play before the end of the third quarter.
No reason to take the gamble with the 2-point conversion.
Pregnitz to kick. Almost swatted away there by Belize, but that goes through the uprights. 4-point game there. Still plenty of time left in this ball game. Glenbrook South didn't feel that they had to bring it within that 3 points there. We'll see if that ends up haunting them in the future, but as of right now, we got ourselves a 4-point lead for the Dukes over the Titans. 39 seconds left to go, and we're going to take a quick break here. You've been watching York Sports Network. Pregnant to kick this ball away back to the Dukes. Loads up and boots it. That flying back near the end zone, taken by Danko. Danko's going to call that a fair catch. That's going to be Dukes ball on the 20-yard line after the touchback. The Dukes offense trotting back out onto the field. And I would like to mention this offensive line for the Dukes. They've really done a good job giving Melian lanes to run. We saw that 2 drives ago. But there's not much the offensive line can do about the fumbling. Their job is just to get him the space, and what Melian does with it is up to him. They go right back to Melian. Melian breaks away. He gets past the 50. He's inside the 40. He's being tracked down 30, 20, 15. He steps out of bounds at the 14-yard line. Huge rushing play for Melian. Going for 65 yards. What a run there by Jake Melian, putting them right inside the red zone. Melian bouncing back once again off the turnover.
He had an excellent cutback right around midfield, TJ, and I think that really bought him an extra 20 yards because the Titans were right behind him and were likely to make the tackle if he just ran straight. And I don't think there was any situation that he was getting in the end zone, but excellent cutback, gets himself an extra 20 yards and sets up the field perfectly.
Went it. Looks like he hands it to Connors. Connors was still fighting for it. He got all the way down the 1, but they called him down back around the 10-yard line. To me, it looked like he was still moving, but they thought otherwise. That's Jimmy Connors' first run of the night. Connors, the main running back for the sophomore team last year, getting a chance here after Melian's on the sideline taking a breather. That's going to be the end of the third quarter now. 21-17, the Dukes lead over the Titans. and we should be going down to the wire here in Glenview. Start of the fourth quarter now. Duke's inside the red zone. If he just missed that 65-yard rush for Melly and put them in the situation. Connors, though, now in at running back, and he's going to move that ball up to around the 6 or 7 yard line, making it a very manageable 3rd down and 2. And right before the break, we did mention Connors was the lead back for the sophomores last year. Him and Eddie Sika, who are both playing defense tonight, were really the main 2 running backs on that sophomore team.
Yeah, and Jim was really impressive last season at the sophomore level.
As we see him fighting right here to get into the end zone, he's going to pick up the 1st down. So they'll now bring it to a 1st down and goal. So the reset of downs here definitely going to help the Dukes and make it a lot tougher for the Titans. They're going to have to come out with a huge goal line stand and try and hold them to a field goal to keep it a 1-score game. Millian definitely needs a little bit of a breather after running for 157 yards already in this game. This one to Connors. Connors breaks in into the end zone. That extends this Duke's lead, 27-17, back to a 2-score game. And that 2-headed monster of Melian and Connors is definitely something we're going to have to keep our eye on as we get later into this season.
Yeah, TJ, the Duke's run game was just excellent all season last year, and then this game it looks relatively efficient so far. I mean, this is a team that averaged 183 rushing yards last season, and then Melian alone already has 157. So we'll definitely see more success from the run game. But I feel like it's going to be a little bit more pass-heavy than we were used to over the last 2 years with Sean Winton. Showing flashes in this game, just looks incredible at times, especially with the deep balls. And I think it'll only get better as the season goes on. I mean, this is week 1, but they're going to be challenged throughout this season. Next week, Nazareth Academy coming to York. They're the number 5 team in the state. Duke's right now ranked at number 7, so that's easily one of the biggest early season matchups. Yeah, Nazareth Academy won the 3A state championship. After just an average regular season, they were a decent team, but not dominant from the likes of teams like York last season and like teams like Loyola Academy. But they really turned it on in the playoffs, able to get that state championship.
And some teams are just built for the playoffs. Every sport's got some of those teams. We saw that a little bit the last couple of years with the York Dukes baseball team. They're more built for the playoffs, and they made 2 great runs these last 2 years, although not really an outstanding regular season. As Glotz is going to sky kick this one to around the 30. The returner brought down at around the 35-yard line, that being Daniel Devine.
Yeah, the team's built for the playoffs. I mean, they're across every level of sports, wherever you go, including the professionals. Sticking to the topic of baseball, the 2019 Washington Nationals, they were a big surprise. And you see some of the best teams with some of the best regular seasons lose in the first round of the playoffs. So, I mean, anything can happen because by the time you get to playoffs, every team there is good. Every team there deserves to be there, and no game is a guaranteed win.
Matoa under center, signaling for motion. Hands this one off to Canning. Canning up, moving towards the 40, brought down around the 41. 6-yard gain there. Joey Massieri there to make the tackle. And that's one area of this York team that has definitely transitioned from last year to this year is that linebacking core. Really good last year. They did lose people like David Locke and Drew Villar, but they've plugged in some guys there that have just done a great job. As once again, trouble in the backfield on a passing attempt, brought down there. Joe Reef, another sack tonight. He's done a great job penetrating up the middle and just getting through his guys, making great plays there on the quarterback.
That's 2.5 sacks for Reef, I believe. He shared the one with Ostendorf, and he had 2 sacks by himself. And he's really showing in week 1 why he deserves to be the number 10 ranked player for the class of 2025 in the state of Illinois. Much improved over the summer. There were college scouts just raving about this kid.
Matoa pass on 3rd down. That one intended for Sherman. Not going to be completed, so that's going to bring up a 4th down and 9. Down 11 with only 9:25 left. You would think there would be some thought going into it whether or not to go for it or give it back to this Dukes team that's looked really great in the second half. But Glenbrook South is electing to punt the football back to the Dukes. Danko back to return. He's relaxing back there at about the 25-yard line.
And TJ down 11, going for it on 4th and 10, just not the best idea. I mean, if you do not convert and they score a touchdown, it's pretty much game over at that point. You're taking the gamble that your defense can force a punt here.
And Danko's going to pick that one up at the 25. Not much room to work, though. He's going to get a little bit of space right there, and he's going to step out around the 36-yard line. He's done a great job tonight just getting those few extra yards that most other punt returners won't get because they're trying to make something flashy happen, but he hasn't really done that so far. He's just taking what he's gotten so far.
Yeah,
Dukes off. Oh.
I really like that about him. Like you were saying, TJ, taking what you can get, not trying to get too cute when you're returning, just going up the middle or running out of bounds. Because field position matters, especially in high school football, when kickers' legs aren't to the same level of a guy you would see in like college or the NFL. As you want to have the best starting field position as possible.
Winton throwing a pass. Throwing at Danko, a little bit out of the way. He has to dive just to make that grab, but they end up losing a yard on that play. It looked like be another screen pass. Those have worked quite well for the Dukes, don't you think so, Connor?
Yeah, and both quarterbacks I thought have looked well on screen and slant passes tonight. Matoa looking a little bit better on the slants. Winton looking great on the screens. Nice quick release, and he's got receivers with great speed who can turn a 2-yard pass into a gain of 50.
Melian swallowed up in the backfield there by Patrick Benedict. No room to run. That now brings up a 3rd down and 14. And Connor, you were just talking about this Glenbrook South team punting that football back and believing in that defense to get them a stop. And right here, it looks to be like they've put themselves in a pretty good position here on 3rd down. Winton's most likely going to have to throw this football.
Yeah, he's probably going to have to throw the football. Take your time. If you're the Titans, take your time. Stack the secondary, make sure there's no holes, and you have no, if you give up a 1st down, you're going to be in some trouble. But it is 3rd and 14, so it will not be an easy task for the Dukes.
And with this timeout from York, we'll take a quick break. You're watching York Sports Network.
All right, folks, big 3rd and 14 here.
Winton's going to unload one deep. He's got Maylander wide open. Great over-the-shoulder catch, and Maylander's going to get into the end zone. What a bomb there from Sean Winton. Maylander absolutely toasted the defender for a huge 70-yard touchdown pass right there, and that might have just done it here in Glenview, putting this lead now to 17 before the extra point. That throw is right on point, putting it right in the sweet spot, and the mailman delivers.
Well, TJ, we said that Glenbrook South's defense did an excellent job forcing a 3rd and long, and we said it was not very likely that they would be able to convert here, as it's usually a tough spot on 3rd and long, especially 3rd and 14. The Dukes go an empty backfield. The extra point by Glotz is good. The Dukes go an empty backfield, and Winton throws a deep ball, hits Maylander in stride, something I keep talking about because he's so good at it, and he's been excellent at it today, for an explosive touchdown.
And with that touchdown grab, Maylander now up above 200 receiving yards today, that being his 1st touchdown, but he has definitely been looking like this #1 receiver that we all thought he was going to be once Charlie Specht left York, and he's definitely lived up to it today. Not even a question about it.
And TJ, looking at the stats from last year, even though Charlie Specht was considered the consensus #1 wide receiver, he did lead the team in touchdowns. However, Maylander led the team in receiving yards. And he's back at it again with an explosive 200-yard game.
Also something to add, Mainlander's averaging 29 yards per reception right now. Somebody at home, you can do the math on how many receptions he's got. Glaz to kick it away. He boots this one this time. Courts had to grab it. He goes sideline to sideline. He's only able to get up to the 15-yard line, and that's something that me and you were talking about with Danko being so good at getting what he takes and not being fancy, but right there, that's exactly what Cortad wanted to do, and he was just able to maybe gain 2 yards even though trying to reverse the field.
Well, TJ, I'm not even sure if that would have made a difference, because I think if he just caught it where he was originally standing, he would have just gotten blown up. So I wouldn't say he was getting cute. I would just say he's trying to not get CTE. But 35-17 between two very good football teams. But in terms of offensive production, the Dukes have outdone the Titans by a lot. There's a nice tackle. It's going to bring up second down. And this Dukes team has done an excellent job executing offensively in terms of the passing game. A lot of people were wondering, what would a more balanced attack look like from a Mike Fitzgerald coached offense? What would a quarterback who's not known for his speed but more for his arm, how would he fit into the run-heavy scheme that had been the Dukes offense for the last 2 years? And TJ, if I'm being honest with you, I'd say that it's worked out perfectly in this showing in week 1, as they've been excellent. Winton showing flashes of greatness, potential to be one of the best quarterbacks in his conference, one of the best arms, definitely the better arm between the two quarterbacks so far today.
After the two not so good rushing plays here for the tight ends, brings up a 3rd down and 11. We've seen a lot of those today. Another pass, this one once again being thrown out to Joshua Sherman. He's going to be able to make the grab right around that 1st down marker, and it does move the chain, so that's a huge pickup here for Alan Matoa, making a great pass over to Sherman, keeping this drive alive and ultimately their hopes of winning, because it's a touchdown or bust here right now in the eyes of a Titans fan. Matoa taking the snap again, throwing it once again right back down to Sherman. Sherman has had a great game today, being definitely the leading receiver, and they've just been feeding him every time they do pass it. Another moving of the chains here. 6:19 left to go in the 4th quarter.
I feel like they're putting together a lot of their really good drives when they go down by multiple possessions, this being one of the best drives so far that we've seen.
Matoa looks to go deep to Sherman once again. That one way out of range. Great defense there from Belize, not letting Sherman get any separation there. And those last 3 plays, Matoa's really just been eyeing down Sherman and not even looking at any one of his other receivers.
And and I don't really think he's going through his progressions like he was in those other slant plays. Those other slant plays, he'd go through his progressions very quickly and make a quick pass. But here, he seems like he's just picking who he wants to throw the football to before the ball's even in his hands.
As he throws it again, this time to his running back, out of the stretched fingertips there of Canning. 3rd down and 10 now after the 2 incompletions. This could be, once again, a huge stop for the Dukes, as we saw a 3rd and 11 be completed last time. I have a weird feeling they're going to be throwing the ball at Joshua Sherman on this play.
Yeah, I put some money on that, TJ. Bruno Massel, the 3rd, warming up on the sideline. If the Dukes are able to get a stop on 3rd down, we're likely to see him in the next drive. Sean Winton's excellent day at QB is likely over, and I think that's a false start on the Titans. That's going to send them back 5 yards.
All it's doing is you're hurting yourself starting like that. 3rd and 10's hard enough, but pushing it back another 5 just completely changes, especially your play call. Because now you got to just chuck it up. You can't even run a design play, really. You just got to run some verticals. Hopefully one of your guys wins that one-on-one battle. But we really haven't seen too much arm strength from Matoa today. He's just been kind of hitting those slant routes when Sherman and Cotton have been open. Those being his 2 favorite receivers so far. There's going to be a timeout called by the Dukes. That being their second. They will have 1 left here in the last 5 minutes, 55 seconds of the game. The Dukes lead 35-17 over the Titans. You have been watching York Sports Network.
Third and 15 on the Titans' own 40. 5:56 left in the game.
Alan Matoa in the shotgun. They're going to make Sherman come off the field here. Not sure for what exactly. But all I know there is that's a big blow because that's Matoa's favorite target, especially on a 3rd down and long, especially with him being 6'3".
And the leading receiver tonight. Makes this 3rd and 15 so much harder.
Matoa trying to get out of there. Wrapped up by 3 Dukes, that being led by Jack Troutman and Andrew Bricker, and Cole Ossendorf tagging along, getting in the action as well. Ossendorf's up to 13 tackles tonight. He just had a monstrous performance, and for at least me and Connor and the rest of the group here today, helping produce this game, that's something we're pretty much used to at this point.
And those 13 tackles, at least like 9 of them, they're like meaningful, impactful tackles, not just stopping a big play. These are like stopping someone at the line of scrimmage or a tackle for a loss.
They're going for it on 4th down. Matoa takes off him by himself, and he's easily picking that one up, gaining a couple more yards. He made a great play there. He got absolutely lit up, though. Donato Belize laying the boomstick on him. But that's just great job there from Matoa, realizing he didn't have anyone available to throw the ball to and just got out there scrambling. That's something that, after watching that play, I would have liked to see earlier in the game from them. He looked very, very quick on that, and we just haven't seen him use his speed really at all in this game.
Yeah, I was going to say, where was that the first 3 quarters?
Matoa launches one. He just has to get rid of it. Nowhere near his intended target, as that's about 10 yards out of the reach of his receiver. But he got absolutely lit up, so just getting rid of it is what I'm thinking he was thinking.
His deep ball accuracy just seems so bad tonight. Some poor deep ball accuracy. I don't know if it's just a combination of him just trying to chuck it up deep and throw it away, or if it's just he's not really a deep ball passer, and that's what seems more likely to me.
As he just barely gets a short pass out, able to break a couple tackles, though, is Canning. Canning going to pick up another 1st down, moving him inside the 30-yard line at the 29. Moving the chains. They're definitely giving themselves some sort of chance here with 4:48 left to go.
Still down 18. It would be a 3-possession game, however. So a lot of work that needs to be done. The stadium is emptying out very quickly.
Another pass there to Sherman completed.
Yeah, 3-possession game, 4 minutes and 21 seconds. I mean, barring an absolute miracle, I'd say this one is going to go in the Duke's favor, and they've just played a very complete game so far. Offense was firing on all cylinders. The defense looked great. And everyone knows it. The student section has pretty much evaporated. Everyone getting a jump start home as we're about half an hour up north.
And if you would believe it or not, Belize at cornerback has 9 tackles tonight, being the second leading tackler. As we see a stop there, Canning once again moving the chains. He's had himself a great day, but seeing 9 tackles from a cornerback is very unusual in football, especially at the high school level.
Yeah, but I think when you get a physical quarter like DeSanto Belize, I think it really just changes. I mean, this entire Duke's defensive core just plays so physically and so rough. They go all out for every play.
Great job there by the Dukes getting pressure on Matoa. Matoa made 2 great moves to avoid sacks, but not much you can do when you're getting rushed by 4 or 5 of those huge defensive linemen the Dukes have. 2nd and goal now. For this Glenbrook South team, they really, after they get a touchdown, is what they're hoping. They got to go out there and kick an onside kick, score it again, and kick another onside kick and score again. So, like you said, Connor, a miracle's needed. As they hand it off to Canning, and he's brought down once again by Ostendorf. He's just adding on to his tackle total here tonight.
Tackle for loss total, too. That one sends the Titans back a yard.
Matoa faking it, taking it himself. Brought down instantly by number 44, Nick Delanis. There's great pursuit there by him. He read that out perfectly. He knew as soon as Matoa started breaking for the outside that he had the football, because really he hasn't been doing a great job at faking that he has the ball either. He's just been kind of a bit lazy with it, is what I would say. And when you're a bit lazy on the fakes and then you turn on the burners like he has, when you actually do have the football, it's quite easy to read. And the Duke's defense done a good job at sniffing those out today.
Yeah, they're not really getting fooled. They're not really turning their heads on, even on like the cutbacks and that like reverse triple option we saw earlier. Doing an excellent job just keeping their eyes on the ball.
There's a throw by that Matoa there going over the head of Valentinas. That going to be a turnover on downs. The Dukes come back out here with 2:02, most likely just going to run the ball and end this game with them taking the first game of the season, going to 1-0 here. But they have a true tough test next week at home against Nazareth Academy after them, like Connor said earlier, winning the 3A state championship game. And yes, it's 3A, but that's still a very competitive conference. A lot of good teams that play down in 3A.
Most notably, a bunch of the teams from the very competitive Catholic Conference, featuring teams, I believe, like I see some fresh faces on offense. We got Bruno Massel the third in at quarterback, Adam Fennell in at running back.
Just all new faces.
Max Sennett in at wide receiver.
Josiah.
Just trying to get a look at all the. Yeah,
and Finton Helm also out there at tight end, taking over for Trinanich.
We saw Helm a couple times, so one of the very few faces.
They're going to run it. Massel breaks away. Great run there, getting out to the 30-yard line for a 22-yard gain. And that just shows how dominant this team really is. They bring in the backups, and you're probably thinking at home, well, they're just going to run the ball, maybe get a yard or two each play and just run out the clock. But Massel showing that he definitely has a speed to be out there on those run option plays. We saw it last year pretty much every single game. They loved running the option with him like they did with Vezzo. It was almost like mirrors were being shown to each other between varsity and sophomores' rushing attack.
And Coach Fitz has said he's really happy with the way the quarterback room shaped up, seeing these guys practice all over summer. He likes Sean in the pocket, but he's also said Bruno and Adam Yu, third-string quarterback, they gave Sean a run for his money over the summer. And Yu, we saw in multiple situations, a little bit of tight end, a little bit of quarterback, even a little bit of linebacker, and Bruno, the dual threat quarterback, who found lots of success on the sophomore team. So I think Coach Fitz is just really comfortable with what's the state that the team is in right now. Is they wrap up this non-conference games and then enter the conference games.
Massel and the offense came out in victory formation, and they kneeled the ball down. That's now going to bring this game to officially a York Dukes win. 1-0 on the season, beating a good Glenbrook South team pretty handily, 35-17. Dukes took the lead and never looked back. Both rushing and offensive and passing attacks looked great out there. Winton ending with over 270 passing yards. Maylander over 200 receiving. Danko 2 receiving touchdowns. Melian 2 rushing touchdowns. It was just really everybody joined in and pitched in for fun tonight.
And when the Dukes are playing their best football, that's what it looks like. Total team effort, and I think that's everything you saw tonight. And a quality team victory here in Glenview to open up the season. Next week, these Dukes host Nazareth Academy at home for the first home game of the season.
And that's going to do it here for us in Glenview. The York Dukes pummel the Glenbrook South Titans 35-17. I have been TJ Silkaitis. Alongside me has been Connor Choi. Quick shout out to the rest of the group here: Luca DeSanto, Gabe Arriaga, Henry Borchers, Ryan Bird, and Christian McQuade. You have been watching York Sports Network.